We're finally going to get to the pasta sauce or spaghetti sauce, or for you Italians, Sunday gravy. Hello friends, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Grammy in the Kitchen. Today we're going to go ahead and get started on canning our pasta sauce or spaghetti sauce. If you saw my last Azure haul, I bought 6 big cans of diced tomatoes, and we got a case of tomato paste. I'm only using 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, one for each large can of tomato sauce. I got some dry basil, and I have some dry oregano. I took about 3 cups of each of the frozen carrots and the frozen celery. I've got 4 onions and 2 whole bulbs of garlic. And of course we'll be adding a little sugar just to cut back on that acidity of the tomatoes. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around. It's going to be a great video. It's a learning process for both of us, because I've made homemade pasta sauce, but I've never canned it. And we're going to do this together. But first we need to chop up the onions and the garlic, because the celery and the carrots are already chopped up, because I bought those frozen from Azure just to convenience and price. It was actually cheaper for me to do it this way than buying fresh and chopping them up myself. So we just went this route. Now when you're mixing your holy trinity, or 3 ingredients, to make a flavor base for anything, it's called a mirepoix. M-I-R-E-P-O-X. Pronounced mirepoix. But we are adding garlic to it. So it's not a trinity as in 3. We're adding garlic to it. So we're going to have 4 ingredients as our mirepoix. I do have my freezer scrap bag to collect all the bits and pieces from the onions and the garlic. Then we're going to put that on the stove, and we're going to cook that until the vegetables are soft, and we're going to stick blend those to make them completely smooth, and then we'll add all of our tomato products. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my knife. This is just a really cheap knife sharpeners by Chef's Choice. I've got this from Walmart, but it's a 2-step process, a 1 and a 2. And I just do it a couple times on the 1, and then I move over and do a couple times on the 2. I don't have to worry about cutting these onions too small, because we're going to puree it anyway. Oh wow, these onions are super strong. Wow, I cannot believe how strong they are. I'm just chopping them up into big chunks. Just smash in the garlic so I can get the outer peel. And then we're just going to rough chop these also. This is going to take a minute. I'll bring you right back when I get all the garlic peeled, as I am doing 2 whole bulbs here. I have all the onion peels and the tops and the ends and the garlic peeling all in my freezer scrap bag, going back in the freezer. And now I'm just going to rough chop the garlic. Alright, that looks good. Do not have a recipe for this pasta sauce. I just know the flavor I am trying to achieve, and we're making this up as we go. Now we're going to go ahead and cook our celery, our carrots, our onions, and our garlic. We're going to put all of this in a Dutch oven with some olive oil. Cook it until they're super, super, super soft, so we can take the stick blender to it and make a very smooth consistency. I have the burner on a medium low. We're just going to add a good drizzle of olive oil. Making sure that the whole bottom is covered in olive oil. I go ahead and add all of our vegetables. I'm turning everything to make sure we get everything coated with that olive oil. I'm going to keep track of time so I can let you know how long this takes. But I'll bring you back when we get close to the consistency we are looking for. So as the vegetables cook, it will release some of its liquid. But we still want to keep an eye, make sure we're not burning the bottom of the pan with our vegetables. We're just going here occasionally and just giving it a good stir. So far it's been 15 minutes. I did turn it up to a medium. Now it's cooking a little bit too fast, so I'm turning it back down to a medium low. The carrots and the celery were soft anyway because they were frozen, but the onions is not quite there yet. And we've been doing this for 30 minutes. And I'm going to let it continue to cook a little bit longer. I want the onions super soft, so when we puree this, it'll be nice and smooth, and there will be no onion chunks in my sauce. I want the flavor of the onions and the garlic and the sweetness from the carrots and the celery to just add flavor and dimension to the sauce without adding chunks of vegetables. I hope I'm conveying that well to you. It's turning into a mushy stuff, so this is getting there very well. Alright, we're going to see if it's ready to puree. It has been 40 minutes. So we do have it mostly blended up. There are some chunks in here. So I'm going to turn it down low, let it continue cooking, and then we'll puree it again. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to puree it again. And I am going to continue to stir it because it's like this. I don't want it to scorch on the bottom. So I want to constantly move it around just so it doesn't burn. Alright, it's been 10 minutes. Let's do it again. That looks good to me. I do not see any chunks of onion, celery, carrots, or any big garlics in here. I think that looks good to me. Burner's off. Now we're going to go ahead and empty all of our canned tomato products into this 32 quart stock pot. So I have a 5-gallon bucket on the floor. I got my 32 quart stock pot sitting on top of this just to elevate it. We're going to go ahead and empty all the cans in here. So I have 6 cans of the diced tomatoes. You know what they say, go big or go home. Well, we're going to go home and go big. 6 cans of tomato paste. Now I'm going to puree it with the stick blender, but I'm going to have to move it. It would suck if I dropped this and spilt this all over the floor more ways than one. Because my stick blender is not long enough, that's why I'm using the paddle spatula to get in there and stir it up to make sure we're getting all of it smooth. Now we're going to add our pureed mirepoix. Now, like I said, we're making this up as we go. This is some dry basil. We're going to start off with 1/4 cup. Dry oregano, 1/4 cup. Salt, 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons. Pepper, 1 tablespoon. Sugar, 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons. Salt, we're going to add another 1/8 of a cup. I think I'm just going to double everything that I had in there. Except for the sugar. I'm going to leave the sugar alone for right now. Another 1/4 cup of oregano. Another 1/4 cup of basil. I'm going to stick blend it real quick. I don't know if you could tell, but it's a little chunky, which that is perfect for me. All right, let's taste it. Okay, I think we're good. Now I need to pick this up and put it on the stove top. Whew. Let me clean up a little bit and I'll bring you right back. So I have it on the stove. I have the burner on low. And we're just going to heat this up. Get everything cooked together. I did taste it. It tastes okay, but it needs something. So I'm just going to work on the flavor profile to see what I need to add. But I'm going to heat it up while I'm thinking about that. I'm going to make sure you're scraping the bottom. Just so it doesn't scorch. Once it gets heated up, we're going to cook it on low for an hour at the minimum, and then we'll go from there. But it does need something, and I'm not sure what it is. But I'll bring you back when we get this up to a simmer. So every recipe I found online for a good pasta sauce calls for brown sugar. I've always put regular sugar in mine, but it's calling for brown sugar, and I think it has something to do with the molasses. So I'm adding a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Let me see if that's what it's missing, because I still feel like it's missing something. And so far I have a 1/2 cup of regular sugar and a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm just going in here and make sure we scrape the bottom so it doesn't burn in any spots. All right, now we're going to taste it. Okay, that's getting better. Now you know we have the pureed onions and garlic in here, but I am going to add some onion powder and garlic powder. 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of thyme, it's starting to come up to a simmer. Now we're going to have to get our jars and our canner ready for this. All right, that is really good. So now we're going to simmer this for 1 hour on very, very, very low heat. Sorry, this is a really bad angle, but this is the best we can do right now. I'll let my sauce simmer for 1 hour. I washed 7 jars. That's the amount my canner will hold. So we'll just do this in 7 at a time. Wash, rinse, keep in hot water till we get this whole entire pot done. It's actually right about there of sauce. I have no idea how many quarts I'm going to get out of this. We will find out together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the jars, put the sauce in, because it is thick, not chunky, but thick. We are going to de-bowl it. Then we're going to wipe the rim with alcohol on a paper towel. Put a new lid. Everybody knows 4-jar lids are the lids of my choice. Put a ring on it, fingertip tight. We're not going to crank it down, just fingertip tight. Put it in the canner. I am pressure canning this. Tomato products, you can water bath, but I am pressure canning this one because I do have onions, celery, carrots, and garlic in there. And I'm not sure about the ratio, and I don't want to add lemon juice or citric acid to up the acidity of my tomato sauce. So because of that, I am pressure canning it. Now this is not, and I cannot emphasize anymore, this is not an approved recipe. That being said, it is still safe to water bath. Anything has to be high in acid, and I do not want to add more acid to my tomato sauce. So that is why I am pressure canning it. Now, from the research I have done, to pressure can carrots in quarts is 30 minutes. To pressure can tomato sauce only, just tomato sauce, is 15 minutes. To pressure can spaghetti sauce, no meat, is 25 minutes. So I'm going to go onto the safe side and do mine for 30 minutes because that is the pressure canning time for carrots. So I'm actually pressure canning my tomato sauce for 30 minutes just to be on the safe side. Now there is a difference between approved and safe. To get a recipe approved, it has to be a lot of research going into that recipe, and then they come up with what is approved. All the items I have put in my tomato sauce is safe to can, and I'm going on the era of caution and pressure canning it so that it is safe to consume. I hope this makes sense to you. If it doesn't, please leave a comment below if you're new to canning, and I'll try to explain it a little bit better in the answers. But we are pressure canning our pasta sauce for 30 minutes for a quart size. So I got the canner. You can't see it. It's actually right there where my finger's pointing. Heating up because we have hot contents going into a hot jar, going into a hot canner. Always remember that. Cold packing is cold contents, cold jar, cold canner. Hot packing is hot contents, hot jar, hot canner. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and before we go anywhere, I'll leave the recipe in the description below of how I made my sauce with all the measurements for all the spices and herbs I use. So don't fret. I'm not saying you need to make 101 jars of pasta sauce, but this is something I wanted to do to have on my pantry shelf so I don't have to buy ready-made pasta sauce and I don't have to make pasta sauce every time I want to make something with pasta. But you do not have to do this volume, but please just try some canning. Just try it. It's fun and very addictive. So I have a 2-cup measuring cup that I'm going to be using to pour in my liquid. Hot jars. I have my lids and I have my rings. A funnel. My debubbler. And on the opposite end is your rim measurements. And my jar lifter. I have a bowl with some white distilled vinegar. And I have paper towels. Let's go ahead and get started. I am so sorry this is an awkward view, but this is the best I can do in my tiny kitchen. And I am already making a mess, but that's okay. Taking the debubbler. Wow, that is so hot. My paper towel. Vinegar. And this ring right here at the bottom of the thread is a 1-inch measurement. Brand new lids. Rings fingertip tight. Can you see all the pretty colors in there? It's going to be so hard. Oh, that is so pretty. In the canner. And I'm just going to continue until I have 7 jars filled and ready for the canner. I just removed a spoon from each one of these because it was more than what I needed and it went beyond my 1-inch spot. Number 7. So I got 7 jars of pasta sauce in here. Got the lid on. I have it cranked down. I have it on medium heat. Just like I've told y'all over and over again, pressure canning is not dangerous. It's a little scary. It's a little intimidating at first. But once you get the hang of it, it is not scary. So we're just going to wait till steam comes out of this vent and steams for 10 minutes. Freight train steam for 10 minutes. Then we're going to put our weight on it. My altitude is 10 pounds of pressure. Once the gauge gets to 10 pounds, it'll start jiggling. That is when our time starts. And I am going to pressure these for 30 minutes because that is approved thyme for carrots. And because I have carrots in here, I'm going with I'm going to use the ingredient that takes the longest to pressure can, and that would be carrots. So we're going to pressure this for 30 minutes. 7 jars are in here, and I'm about that much left in my pot. Anybody want to take a guess? Take a pause. Write down below, how many jars do you think I'm going to get with my pasta recipe? Curious to see who's going to get it right. So we ended up doing 3 different batches in our 921 All-American canner. It holds 7 quarts. I ended up with 21 quarts. And I can tell you, they are absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I have 20 here now, but we did have dinner and I went ahead and made spaghetti with meat sauce just to taste it. And I believe the taste is perfect. I did grate some Parmesan cheese to put on top because you're not supposed to can cheese or creams or anything like that. So there's no cheese in my sauce. I just went ahead and added some Parmesan cheese when I was cooking it, and it is good. If you find any value in this video, if you would give it a thumbs up, and while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. We would love to have you part of the Grammy family. In this kitchen, we make healthy meals with real ingredients that are nutrient-dense, belly-filling meals. So please, go ahead and subscribe. And until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye, friends. I have pasta sauce on my shelf.